In a world where the shadows of imperialism still loom large over many African nations, one leader has risen to the forefront with a powerful message of defiance and unity. President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has become a beacon of hope and resilience, challenging the remnants of colonial influence and advocating for a self-determined future for Africa. His speech at the AES, Alliance of Sahel States Summit in Niger was not just a call to action. It was a clarion call for a continent ready to reclaim its destiny. Join us as we delve into the profound and transformative address by President Traore, a speech that has sent shockwaves across the globe and ignited a movement towards true African sovereignty. President Ibrahim Traore's speech at the AES Summit in Niger was a poignant and passionate call to action for African unity and sovereignty, delivered amidst a backdrop of historical grievances and contemporary challenges. Traore's address resonated deeply with the audience and reverberated across international borders. This analysis delves into the key themes, rhetoric, and implications of Traore's speech, examining its significance within the context of African geopolitics and global dynamics. Traore opens his speech by acknowledging the historical ties that bind African nations together. He pays homage to the shared struggles and triumphs of the continent, invoking the memory of valiant warriors whose blood runs through the veins of today's Africans. This historical framing serves not only to unite the audience but also to underscore the resilience and dignity of African peoples in the face of adversity. The emotional appeal in Traore's speech is palpable as he expresses gratitude for the opportunity to address his fellow African leaders. His use of emotive language, such as referring to the audience as comrades and invoking a blessed and memorable date, sets a tone of camaraderie and shared purpose. By grounding his rhetoric in both historical reverence and emotional connection, Traore establishes a compelling narrative that seeks to galvanize support for his vision of a unified Africa. Central to Traore's address is a scathing critique of imperialism and external exploitation of African resources. He condemns the entrenched view of Africa as an empire of slaves held by imperialist powers, decrying their continued plundering of African lands and subsoils. Traore asserts that since gaining independence in the 1960s, African nations have been shackled by a system that perpetuates dependency and subjugation. The president's critique extends to local leaders, whom he labels as salon slaves, accusing them of colluding with foreign powers to undermine African sovereignty. This accusation is not merely rhetorical. Traore provides examples of how these leaders have facilitated the exploitation of Africa's natural resources to the detriment of their own people. By exposing these dynamics, Traore challenges his audience to confront complicity and calls for a paradigm shift towards self-determination and economic autonomy. Traore's speech is marked by a defiant stance against external manipulation and interference in African affairs. He highlights instances where African nations have been targeted by external forces, seeking to maintain control through political, economic, and military means. The president's assertion that the Sahel people will no longer tolerate such interference reflects a broader sentiment of defiance and resilience among African nations. The president's emphasis on resilience is not confined to military defense, but extends to economic and social resilience. He underscores the importance of regional cooperation in defense, finance, infrastructure, health, and education as essential pillars of collective resilience against external pressures. This call for unity and cooperation resonates strongly with his audience, who are urged to prioritize the long-term interests of their people over short-term gains that benefit external powers. If you're inspired by President Traore's powerful message, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more insightful analyses and updates on important events shaping our world. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know how you think African nations can achieve true independence and sovereignty. Traore concludes his speech with a vision for a united and empowered Africa that stands on its own terms in the global arena. He calls for a rewriting of Africa's narrative, away from one of perpetual victimhood to one of agency and self-determination. This vision is not merely aspirational but practical, as Traore outlines concrete steps toward achieving economic independence and political sovereignty. The president's vision encompasses a holistic approach to development, encompassing not only economic growth, but also social progress and cultural resurgence. He envisions African nations as equal partners in a global community, capable of charting their own course toward prosperity and stability. This vision is imbued with a sense of optimism and determination, appealing to the aspirations of both current and future generations of Africans. Traore's speech carries significant implications for African geopolitics and global dynamics by articulating a clear and assertive stance against external exploitation and manipulation. He positions Burkina Faso and other Sahel nations as leaders in the fight for African sovereignty. This assertiveness is likely to resonate with other African leaders who share similar grievances and aspirations for self-determination. On the global stage, Traore's speech challenges traditional power dynamics and calls into question the legitimacy of continued Western influence in Africa. His critique of imperialism and exploitation underscores broader debates about global economic justice and the legacy of colonialism. Moreover, Traore's call for regional cooperation and collective resilience highlights the potential for African nations to assert themselves as key players in global governance and security. President Traore's speech is not just a moment in history, it is a call to action for all Africans and supporters of African sovereignty worldwide. It challenges us to rethink the structures of power and exploitation that have long dominated the continent, and to envision a future where African nations are free to determine their own destinies. We encourage you to take this message to heart and support efforts towards a self-determined and united Africa. Engage in conversations about African sovereignty, support African-led initiatives, and hold accountable those who seek to undermine the continent's progress. Together, we can help realize President Traore's vision for a prosperous and empowered Africa. President Ibrahim Traore's speech at the AES summit in Niger was a pivotal moment in African diplomatic history. It encapsulated themes of historical resilience, contemporary challenges, and a vision for a united and empowered Africa. By critiquing imperialism, advocating for regional cooperation, and emphasizing resilience in the face of adversity, Traore's address resonated deeply with his audience and reverberated across international borders. As African nations continue to navigate complex geopolitical landscapes, Traore's vision for a self-determined Africa stands as a testament to the continent's enduring spirit and determination. In a world where the shadows of imperialism still loom large over many African nations, leaders like President Ibrahim Traore are lighting the way forward with boldness and clarity. His call for unity, defiance against exploitation, and vision for a prosperous future resonates not just in Africa, but across the world. This speech is a reminder that the fight for true independence is far from over, and that the strength of Africa lies in its unity and resilience. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with more insightful content. Share this video with others to spread the powerful message of unity and resilience that President Traore champions. Let's work together towards a brighter future for Africa.